need to start taking steps on this thing, right? If we actually want to scale it up. And so like what obviously whatever's working right now, we're not looking to change it, right? We're not saying it's not good. We're not saying that it's not already getting us clients. We already have a proof of concept, which is actually a really amazing spot to be in. Now we're just looking to how can we scale this thing and how can we double down, because we've already cracked the hardest part, right? We have a good product, we have a good service, we have the business set up, right? But we just need to scale it. It really should not be that hard. Let's also do this, right? What we need to do is we need to get specific on what we're aiming for. If we're aiming for a 10K month, we need to take the average ticket, and hopefully we have this data. We need to take the average ticket of each service, right? And we need to find what the average ticket is, and then even without tip, right? Let's just say the average ticket, like the most common service people book. Find the average ticket, and then we say, okay, how many of these services would we need in a month and then in a week to do it, right? How many recurring clients do we have on average? And then how many new clients? So that's the other thing. We need to track new clients. So there needs to be, so in the spreadsheet, let's go back and let's make sure there's a section when a new client books. New client booking, boom, add that to the spreadsheet, right? There needs to be a way for us to track the amount of new clients we're getting day by day. And then in the future, we can get more detailed on it and get more crafty about like where they're coming from and stuff like that. But in general, we just need to see new client flow versus recurring client flow. That way we can, like, the goal here should be to have a goal of how many services do we want to do every single week to hit our revenue goal of 10K a month, right? What is our average ticket? So how many do we need to do for the average ticket? So we can know that. And then how many new clients do we need in order to bridge the gap from the volume we're doing right now to the volume that we want to be at? Let's get a good estimate too, Joaquin, of where we would be at right now if we were fully booked. So for example, with your average ticket, let's say you were doing the most you and Braden could possibly do, right? How much money would that make? And then that's where we can set a benchmark and see how far off are we from, let's say, a $10,000 revenue month, right? Let's aim for 10K rev first, right? And then we can see how far off we are. And then we can say, okay, if we get, let's say, for example, we can say, hey, if we get fully booked out at this current ticket, we're gonna hit 6K a month. But if we raise our prices on each service by, let's say, et cetera, $50 a service, right? Then we would need X amount of volume to get to 10,000 revenue. The reason that JL Detailing is scaling unoptimally, or the reason that we're not scaling as fast as we need to be scaling, is because we're not specific enough. You understand this? So we don't even have a quota that we're aiming for, right? If we don't even have a quota we're aiming for, we're not going anywhere. We're just going through the motions, right? So we need to actually have like a tangible goal of what we're aiming for within this business. And then I need to talk to you separately about team culture, how you're going to get Braden on board, how you are going to sell Braden the vision of his future, what that looks like, and just give him incentives, give him bonuses, and just make him an absolutely crazy A player, team player, and have him just be insanely motivated, right? And the second thing is that you have to understand your role, right? Right now, you're the owner, right? That means obviously right now you're in charge of training Braden, but your main role as the owner is not just to help Braden with the jobs, to get the jobs done faster. The whole point of hiring Braden was to take the service out of it so that you could focus your bandwidth on the things that we're talking about right now. The stuff that we're doing right now, Joaquin, this is what's going to be important. The stuff that we're doing right now is what's going to move the needle. And that's what you need to be focused on. So right now, you need to be focused on selling Braden your vision, right? Making sure that he's 100% committed to your vision of where you want to take JL Detailing. And you need to drop your nuts. He needs to see that you're progressing. He needs to see you as somebody that he can look up to and somebody that's going to make him rich, right? He needs to see you as someone that is giving him the opportunity of a lifetime, and you're actually someone to learn from and someone to respect, which he already does, but you need to make that even more so. And you'd be like, listen to me, nigga, like, we're taking this thing to $10,000 a month in the next 6 months, and this is exactly what you're going to do, how to get there, nigga. Are you with me or not, right? Like, that's the mindset that you need to have with this guy, right? And you need to really, like, encourage him, get on meetings with him. Hey, how do you think this went? Hey, I understand he's in the beginning stages now. So of course your bandwidth is focused on training him, but your main priority should be to train this guy up as much as you possibly can and fully delegate the labor so that you don't have to do labor. And at first, I think a good progression is let's have him do labor and you do customer services, right? Like obviously train him in the basics, but in terms of like meeting these guys, going out to meet them, talking on the phone with them, that's all you, right? So I would say we'll split the roles and responsibilities into three main categories. Back end and scaling, which I really want to help you with. Like however we like, Nick, I'm helping you with that, okay? So back end and scaling, right? Marketing, tracking, conversion, scaling, pricing, positioning. That stuff is what you should be focused on learning. And that's where this is what this conversation is about, right? Like, this is the stuff that you need to be focused on learning, right? Then there's just customer relations. So actually managing these clients, that's a very big part of detailing, as you know. Managing the clients, talking to the clients, right? Like managing the clients, talking to the clients, getting referrals in, building, like a good community of people. That's what you need to be doing as well. Whether or not it's texting your clients, like obviously, I don't know, you probably already do this, but like texting them like, hey, how is the service? By the way, if you wouldn't mind, and then you do the auto rebooking. Okay. So you basically be like, hey man, how's the service? Like, what did you think about it? They're going to be like, hey, it was really good. I really, really like this. And then you're going to be like, okay. You're going to be like, by the way, man, like how often would you prefer to do this or whatever? There's a script I have. It works the same. Okay. The first thing you need to understand too, Joaquin, is you need to get over this limiting belief that it's not the same. Okay. Because I used to be the same way. I used to say that someone who doesn't do info for barbers is not going to understand info. Or I used to say, somebody who does this is not going to understand this. But what you have to understand is all these people in business who are really at a high level, they didn't have someone teaching it directly to them. You think Faraj mastered barber info because he already knew it? Or do you think he had ideas, he tried to put himself in the position of somebody who is in barber info, and then the guy who actually does it, me, gave him feedback and was like, hey, no, like, just pointing him out the little things and just educating him on the actual business model, right? So you need to understand that it's going to be imperfect and that people are going to give you advice that's a little bit imperfect, and you need to communicate with them the differences within that business model so that you guys can be on the same page. The better they understand the business model, the better they can help you. In other words, I know a little bit about detailing. That's why I can give you some advice. I don't know everything about detailing. So if there's little things, you need to correct me. But the limiting belief that's holding you back, that's preventing you from receiving help, is the idea that, hey, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about because it's not the same. Oh, all he did was cut hair. All he did was do info. It's not the same thing as detailing. Or, oh, it's just marketing. What you have to understand is that all this stuff is the same, right? So this limiting belief of, oh, this guy can't help me because he doesn't know what he's doing because he hasn't been in my position or he hasn't done detailing. You have to get over that limiting belief, because in what way does that limiting belief serve you? It doesn't serve you at all. In fact, it's causing you to leave money on the table. And the other thing you have to understand, the other mindset shift you have to make, mindset shifts you have to make. Number one, if you're not progressing, Braden's leaving, right? If Braden doesn't see you being ambitious, he's gone, right? It's like anybody else. I'm speaking from experience, right? If an employee does not see the vision, and if the employee does not see the progress within your company, and if an employee does not feel like you are going to get them to their desired life, they're going to leave you, right? If the employee feels like, they're going to leave for somebody better, and you've seen this in my business, you've seen this with people's businesses, you see this with people in general, right? You see this with Wise Cuts. Wise Cuts used to be the shit. And people thought that Wise Cuts was, I'm going off on a tangent. People used to think you need to listen, bro, I promise you listen to all this, okay? Go back, watch all this stuff, okay? I don't even care. I'm taking the time out of my day regardless. It's going to be on you whether or not you pay attention to all this, okay? I believe that this is important. I have 100% conviction that this is going to help you. And that's why I'm actually doing this, okay? For the fucks of it, yes. But also because I genuinely know that these ideas are going to make you more money. And I'm just going to quickly give you an example, okay? You probably understand the idea, but look at Wise Cuts. Wise Cuts used to be the shit. And the owner stopped caring about Wise Cuts. People stopped feeling like Wise Cuts was the best option. People stopped feeling like Wise Cuts was elevating. And instead, people felt like Wise Cuts fell off. And the owner really wasn't ambitious anymore. And the owner really didn't give a fuck. And everyone left. My offer, right? Unfortunately, with Cashflow Barbering Agency, people didn't see that progressing as fast as they would like. They saw me talk about hitting 100K a month, and we never did it. What does that do to your employees? What does that do to your employees when you set a big goal and they see that you're not about it, right? You're not leading by example or whatever the case. And on the other hand, what does that do to your employees if you tell them something and you actually do everything that you said you would, right? Continuing on, I'm putting all this in the cloud so you have a doc, you have a recording, you have a full breakdown, you have a spreadsheet, you're gonna get all the resources that you need, okay? So again, that's the mindset you wanna have, right? I cannot help you, and if you keep having this mindset, you're not gonna scale. If you're not open to taking help and you're not open to these new ideas and you're not going to try them, right? Because what's the worst case scenario? You try this stuff, you actually commit to implementing it, right? You actually understand that, okay, you have a why now, right? You need to be doing everything in your power every single day to move this freaking business forward. Otherwise, you're gonna lose it. Understand? So essentially, like, what you have to realize is, like, why would you not try this, right? Is it really that much extra effort to go watch this video and to implement all the stuff that I'm suggesting? No, it's not, right? And I'm not saying this as a personal thing. I understand how it is, right? But I'm saying, like, take this as if it was from anybody, as if you paid for this information. Take this as seriously as if you invested into a program or you paid for a call or whatever. Like, actually apply this stuff. And then you can come back to me and you can be like, yo, you didn't know what the fuck you were talking about. I tried it for 3 months and it didn't work, right? And best case scenario, you get out of your situation and it works. I had so many limiting beliefs about whether or not Faraj could help me. I had so many limiting beliefs about whether or not Faraj could help me. Because I'm like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He does Amazon. He doesn't even, but over time, over the course of the last year, look what he's done, right? So you have to be open to getting help and realize that you not taking the help or you not seeking guidance or implementing new things in your business, you doing the same thing over and over and over is not helping you scale at all. And it's actually hurting you, right? You constantly not looking to change little things, get better every day is improving you. Enough of the mindset stuff. Back to the tangible. We need to have a new main focus every single week. In other words, what is Joaquin's main focus this week? What are you working on in the business that is going to improve? For right now, your focus should be training up Braden. I need you to add a new main focus. Your new main focus needs to be testing, right? We're gathering data. We're testing this stuff, okay? Eventually, you're gonna need a VA that's gonna track all this for you, right? We need as much data as possible and we're testing. I want you to go into this testing phase of like, hey, I already have what's working, so I'm not gonna switch it. I'm just going to try something using basic business principles that have been proven that when you niche up into something, you can charge more and make more money. And that is with anything, okay? Like at some point, you're gonna have to like kill the pride a little bit and just try something new. Try it for 3 months, see how it goes. Try these new ideas, right? That's what you're gonna have to ultimately do. Otherwise, you know, it's like you're just leaving money on the table. You could be at 10K a month. I'm making this video and I'm thinking these thoughts and I'm going through all this effort because I understand that you can be doing 10K a month revenue with JL Detailing. I understand that. I believe that. You can hear the conviction in my voice that I 100% believe that for a fact. So you need to have the same conviction, not only for yourself, right? But you need to genuinely believe that because now you have Braden that's looking up to you and he's relying on you. And you told him that you were going to do X, X, and Y. And he believes in you and I believe in you. So now you need to have that same conviction yourself, right? You need to actually believe that. And so when you actually believe that, you need to start taking steps like that person and start doing these little things, right? You need to stop, like, okay, don't go another week doing the same thing. Go another week doing exactly what you're doing, but in the back of your mind, hey, I'm aiming for X amount of services done this week. I'm aiming for X amount of new clients this week. I'm testing my stuff right now. I'm filming a new ad creative on Monday and Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, I'm gonna film an ad creative targeting this different niche. So I think actionable steps, we need to film 2 to 3 new ad creatives on top of the one you're already running, You're the expert in the targeting. I'm not going to tell you how to run ads because I'm not good at them. Whatever you're doing right now is working. As I said previously, we don't need to optimize the ad settings or the ad spend or anything like that, as much as the fact that we just need to optimize our actual business. Because if the ad settings are perfect, but the business is flawed, then the business is leaking money. It's that simple. It's like if we had a better business model, right? If we charged more, if we had better positioning, if we had better marketing, then more eyeballs on our page would convert to more money. So the highest ROI thing we can do right now is not fixing the ad settings. It's not doing any of this extra stuff. It's focused on actually fixing our actual business, right? The service is good. The service is good. People pay you for the service. We can focus on upgrading the service later. You got a van, you got all this stuff, you got proof of concept. It's really nice. Don't fall into this trap of thinking that, making your service better. This is something I talk about all the time. And you see people in the service-based business industry who are barbers that think that having the best haircut is going to make them the most money. It's the same thing here. Don't have a good service. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that you having the best equipment and you having the logos and you having the sign up and all that stuff is automatically going to equate to making you the most money, because it's not. What's going to automatically equate to making the most money is this stuff that nobody wants to do, right? Like I talked about, the tracking, the testing the new creatives, restructuring our positioning, restructuring our entire business and pricing structure and who we're marketing to and who we're niching down to. That's what's going to make us more money. And that's something that we can do today to make more money instantly, right? So understand that, reframe your mindset as your top priority now is not doing as many details as you can, right? Your top priority right now is not, these are priorities. They're not your top priority. Your priority right now is not upgrading your equipment, adding new services. Your priority right now is becoming a better business owner and learning skills like how to scale, how to market, and just absorbing as much knowledge as you can so that you can become a better business owner, so that you can become a better leader, so that you can become a better manager of your team, right? Continuing on. Okay, fire. Okay. Hold this information. Do not forget this information. Document this information. I'm going to add more. Okay. Anyways, I'm making sure it's recording so we can build you out this whole 10-page document. Okay, so now we have the mindset stuff done. We have the actionable stuff done. Let's restructure our tracking system. Okay. Let's restructure our tracking system using what we have right now, right? Let's restructure our tracking system. We got to take imperfect action here. Let's look at the data set that we have, and then using that data set, we can come up with some new ideas of what ad creatives to test and who we're going to have in mind when we target them. And then we're going to refilm 3 ads. As I said, we're going to refilm 3 ads. Each one is going to target slightly different. And not target as in the targeting settings, but we're just going to target having a different ICP in mind, having a different niche in mind, right? Whether it's area, whether it's vehicle, whether it's whatever. Okay, nice. Now, another thing I wanted to talk to you about is getting very specific with things in your service, right? Right now, you're selling them a car wash, essentially. You're selling them a detail, right? This is not what we market. This is a basic thing that I teach because it's the same in the service-based business. You're not selling people a haircut. You're not selling people a detail. You are selling people, I'm sure you've heard this, I'm sure you know this, right? I don't want to seem like just some crazy groundbreaking information. You're selling people the feeling that they get. Does that make sense? I'm sure you understand this, but I can't emphasize it enough. You need to shift your mindset, okay? This is going to be the most valuable takeaway. You are not selling people a car wash. You're not selling people a service. You're selling people that feeling that they get when they pick up the car and they feel like that nigga. That's what you're selling them, right? That's literally, that's it. Does that make sense? Okay? How can we help people get to this desired state, which you understand, I know you understand desired state. Their desired state is that peace of mind, that confidence that they get, right? That confidence, that peace of mind, right? What else? What other words can we use to describe what you're selling and what emotion you're trying to invoke? Confidence, peace of mind, cleanliness, preparedness, whatever the case. We can always add on to this, right? What obstacles and pain points are preventing them from getting there, right? Obstacle number one that you solve: time. People don't have the time. People don't have the time to take their car to the car wash, correct? Busy people don't have the time to take the car to the car wash, and they procrastinate and procrastinate it and procrastinate it and procrastinate it. So, why would people not, and I'm not saying everybody, but why would some people out there not, like myself, right? You want to target people like myself who are willing, as you know, to spend money on haircuts, details, and just general maintenance and feeling good, right? Get over this limiting belief that people aren't going to do this, people aren't going to pay that. There's always a market out there for what you want, right? So, people, you're a mobile detailer. People are going to pay you for convenience, right? You're going to them, okay? People are going to pay you for convenience. People are going to pay you to go to them. So that is pain point number one, right? Getting too tired, not having the time, just being too lazy, I guess, but mainly not having the time to keep their cars clean. Secondly, you can talk about and evoke this idea of, okay, what's another thing? We need to brainstorm this. So what's another thing that your clients and ICP deal with? What is a struggle that they deal with, right? Not having the time to keep the car clean. And what's like a negative emotion that they have? Probably feeling like stressed or feeling like anxious about a cluttered mess. Or maybe they're OCD and even just a little bit speck of dirtiness in the car or whatever. Or maybe, you know, maybe they have like their girlfriend, or they're going on a lot of dates, or they're married, and they just, they like do dates in the car, they drive, whoever around in the car, and they want to keep that car clean. That's one ICP. Maybe another one is that they use their car for professional services and like Uber, whatever, etc., and they want to keep it clean. Maybe another one is that they rent out their cars to people and they want to keep it clean, right? So those are also things that you can kind of think about. Now, I think this is really big, and we're going to need to revisit this later on, but this is just some general ideas, right? We need to understand what pain points and what problems do your clients, the people, your market, the people you're selling to struggle with. This is the same thing as e-com, bro. But until you learn this skill, it's like, bro, you can only get better at it, right? Yes, you've heard it. Yes, you're familiar with it. But can you actually, off the top of your mind, list out the 10 pain points that your audience is struggling with? If you can't do that, it needs work, right? So let's brainstorm that. You're the detailer. You know better than me. We're going to revisit this. We're going to add to this, this idea. Okay. Again, actionable steps, bro. I already listed them out. So that's what we need to start doing. The biggest thing is going to be tracking and testing, right? And I also want to look at your services, and I want to see if there's any clutter that we can take out. Two things. We need to optimize your booking flow, right? So in other words, how much resistance is it for someone to see your page, never know about you, and how long does it take them to go through your entire pipeline and get funneled into your calendar and basically for the money to hit your account? What does that current process look like? How can we optimize it and remove some parts to make it easier on the client and make it less resistant, such as adding an automated booking, whatever? And then also, how can we do little things to improve our actual service? As I said, like a client retention script, auto follow-up bookings, automations, sending them in the mail stuff maybe, or emails or whatever, stuff like that, sending them post-detail videos, getting them to tag you more, building like a team culture, building a better brand as well, a little bit online. Not the hugest ROI, but it's something we can definitely optimize. And it's something I want to optimize with you as well. I think that's essentially it. So the booking, that last stuff I mentioned, is a really easy, quick win that we can do right away and instantly make you more money. And let's do as little services as possible. I think 2 to 3 is cool. Anything more than that is like, okay. Obviously, we charge by size. I think that's like a typical thing. I'm going to come out here with the radical belief and say that I don't believe that detailers should charge by size of the vehicle. I think that you should just take the highest vehicle size and charge that for all of them and just have that be a service. Because at the end of the day, hear me out, you're not selling your time necessarily. You're selling the outcome, right? So like that's like me saying that, if I do your haircut where there's no fade, I shouldn't charge as much. It doesn't make sense, right? It's like, no, I'm still giving you the outcome. You're the one who wanted whatever, right? I'm not, and it doesn't, and it worsens my ROI because it's like you're still driving out to these people when you could be driving out to bigger vehicles, right? Let's say you charge more for bigger vehicles because they take longer. Okay, that's like haircut and beard, right? It's like, why would you waste your time? If you probably do the math, you're probably losing money. So let's optimize as much as we can and work towards having one price and one service and having it just as linear as possible to where JL Detail charges this much for any vehicle and that's it. And the people that you want to target are the people that don't want to overthink, right? Because a lot of people get confused and a lot of people don't want to waste time with all that bullshit and figuring out what service level they want and what package they want and what the size of their vehicle is and calculating all that. A lot of people just want to save their ROI, JL Detail, full detail experience. Pay $500. That's fucking it, right? Peace of mind, decision fatigue. Rich ass people, business owners, those people who you probably want to start targeting, they don't want to make these, little decisions like, oh, what package do I get? Oh, what upsell do I get? Oh, well, I got to calculate how big my vehicle is. No, they just want a fucking peace of mind. They just want to send you the money and they want to get started and they want you to come and give them the outcome they desire. And that's it. And that's what they want. And that's what they're going to pay for. They're going to pay for that peace of mind. So you need to start making a shift to understand your audience better and to understand your market better, right? Start understanding these people better so that you can better sell to them and better service them, right? Understand what are their desires. You understand this. You learned marketing. I keep repeating it. You understand it. Let's really understand it. Let's get as specific and as tangible as we can. Key takeaways: getting more tangible, taking daily action, more data, more testing, more data driven, right? Setting tangible goals and then breaking those tangible goals down into daily inputs. How many new clients do we need per day? How many services do we need to be doing per week? What is my main focus in the business right now? What is my main focus versus what is Braden's main focus? How am I keeping Braden motivated? How am I going to manage my own business and fulfill my role while also making sure that Braden is fulfilling his? Right? How can me and Braden work together as a team so that we're not doing each other's roles and basically wasting the ROI, right? Again, like Tony and Mark, right? If they're both doing the same shit, it's like there's no point in having a business partner, right? The whole point is that Braden is good at one thing, you're good at the other thing. You guys focus on what you guys are good at. Me and Faraj is good at the back end. Faraj is good at team culture. Faraj is good at finding these new people. Faraj is good at coming up with ideas. I'm good at recording the content. This is how a successful partnership works. Everyone focuses on what they're good at. Don't just have them around, just have them around, right? These are the things that you need to focus on. Those are your action items. That was basically it. Please go ahead and watch this entire video back. Freaking find a way to put it. I can put it on YouTube for you. You can pull the transcript and then put it into Claude, whatever the fuck you want. I have a whole Claude document here being made for you too. It's gonna be like a 10-page document or something. And it's gonna have all the talking points, all the ideas, a whole summary, plus your tracking sheet as well. Fucking genius, bro. Better use this.